After 2 decades working with elderly patients, I have discovered a silent but widespread threat, harming liver health across all backgrounds: refined sugar. This is not about the teaspoon of sugar in tea, but the hidden sugars added to processed foods that seniors consume daily, often unknowingly. These include sweetened yogurts, juices, cereals, salad dressings, and packaged snacks marketed as healthy. The liver, your body's filter and metabolic powerhouse, is responsible for detoxification fat, breakdown nutrient storage, and hormone processing. But when it becomes overwhelmed by repeated sugar exposure, particularly fructose, it begins to store fat within its cells through a process called de novo lipogenesis. Over time, this leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, a condition that often has no symptoms early on, but can progress to inflammation, fibrosis, and cirrhosis. I once treated Robert, a 71-year-old man who had never touched alcohol. He felt tired, but otherwise well. Routine tests showed elevated liver enzymes, and imaging confirmed fatty liver. His meals were home-cooked, and he walked daily. However, he regularly consumed sweetened yogurt, fruit juice, and cereal, all loaded with hidden sugar. After switching to plain yogurt, whole fruit, and sugar-free cereals, his liver enzymes normalized within 3 months, and his energy returned. The issue is not that sugar is toxic in isolation. It's that modern eating patterns bombard the liver with frequent sugar doses, especially in older adults with slower metabolism and reduced physical activity. Excess sugar worsens insulin resistance, raises triglycerides, and increases cardiovascular risk, all while fat accumulates in the liver. Seniors are especially at risk because their livers regenerate more slowly with age. What might be tolerable at 30 becomes a source of silent harm at 70. Many breakfast routines contain more sugar than a dessert. This chronic exposure makes the liver work overtime, reducing its capacity to perform vital functions. If we want to protect senior health, we must start by addressing what's really on their plates, particularly at breakfast. Understanding the impact of hidden sugar is the first step toward reversing liver stress and reclaiming energy, clarity, and long-term health. One of the biggest misconceptions among seniors is that if a food is labeled low-fat or heart-healthy, it must be good for them. But in truth, many of these foods are packed with added sugars to compensate for the flavor lost when fat is removed. Items like flavored yogurts, granola bars, salad dressings, and fruit juices are daily staples for many older adults, and they're quietly damaging the liver. Many seniors trust brand names and familiar packaging without reading nutrition labels. This trust is often misplaced. A single container of fruit yogurt may contain up to 20 grams of added sugar. Combine that with cereal and orange juice, and the average senior could consume 50 to 60 grams of sugar before noon. That's more than double the recommended daily intake, especially problematic for aging livers. The liver is the only organ that metabolizes fructose. When too much fructose is consumed, especially in liquid form or without fiber, it is rapidly converted to fat. This overload contributes to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome. The liver becomes inflamed, and inflammatory markers rise throughout the body, contributing to fatigue, joint pain, and even cognitive issues. I have worked with hundreds of seniors who had no idea their fatigue, skin issues, or poor digestion were signs of early liver dysfunction. In many cases, the culprit was their daily breakfast routine: sweetened oatmeal, jam on toast, and fruit juice. A simple change to plain oatmeal with nuts, unsweetened yogurt, and herbal tea helped many patients reverse symptoms and improve their liver enzyme levels within months. Another concern is inflammation. Chronic sugar intake triggers inflammatory cytokines, not just in the liver, but throughout the body. Seniors with arthritis, memory loss, or persistent low energy often see major improvements after cutting sugar. The liver influences nearly every system, so when it becomes inflamed, the effects ripple outward. The truth is, sugar doesn't always come with immediate symptoms. It works silently, slowly eroding liver function over time. That's why education is vital. By learning to read labels, choosing whole foods, and shifting eating habits, seniors can dramatically improve liver function and quality of life, often without medication. The liver is forgiving if given the chance to heal. Another silent danger of daily sugar intake in seniors is the way it fuels insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. As the liver becomes overburdened with sugar, especially fructose, it loses sensitivity to insulin. This leads to elevated blood sugar fat storage and the production of harmful inflammatory molecules. These effects raise the risk for diabetes, heart disease, and further liver damage. I recall a patient named Linda, age 76, who had long been managing mild blood sugar issues through diet. She didn't drink soda or eat candy, but her daily smoothies were loaded with banana, orange, and apple juice. She believed this was a healthy habit. In reality, she was consuming over 40 grams of sugar each morning. Her liver enzymes and fasting insulin were elevated, and she experienced post-meal fatigue. We replaced her smoothies with low-sugar options, leafy greens, avocado unsweetened almond milk, and a small portion of berries. Within 8 weeks, her insulin levels dropped, her energy improved, and liver tests returned to normal. This is the hidden risk of healthy sugar sources like juice and dried fruits. They lack fiber and overwhelm the liver. Unlike weight gain, which is visible, liver stress is often silent. Many of my lean patients have fatty liver simply because of high sugar intake. Seniors often assume that if they're not overweight, they're safe. But sugar-related liver damage can occur even in thin individuals. That's why focusing on food quality, not calories, is key. The liver also affects hormone balance, cholesterol, and blood pressure. When it's under stress, these systems falter. Fatigue, mood swings, high blood pressure, and poor sleep are often misattributed to aging when they may be signs of liver overload. Removing sugar gives the liver space to regulate these processes more effectively. The key takeaway is this: sugar fuels a slow, steady breakdown in liver and metabolic health. It may not hurt at first, but over time it weakens your body's ability to manage glucose burn fat and fight inflammation. The sooner we identify and reduce sugar sources in a senior's diet, the better the outcomes for liver health and beyond. For seniors, early signs of liver stress are often subtle fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, mild swelling, or digestive upset. These are frequently dismissed as normal aging, but they are often the first signs of liver dysfunction due to chronic sugar overload. Because liver disease develops slowly and silently, many patients go undiagnosed until the damage is advanced. Routine medical exams may not include sensitive liver tests unless there's a known issue. As a result, thousands of seniors live with undetected non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, caused by years of hidden sugar intake. One 80-year-old woman I worked with had low-energy insomnia and skin rashes. Her doctor had prescribed multiple medications, but her real issue was dietary flavored oatmeal. Sweetened tea, fruit preserves, and juice added up to 60 grams of sugar daily. We shifted her diet to whole oats, herbal tea, fresh fruit, and healthy fats like nuts and avocado. Within 6 weeks, her energy returned, her skin cleared, and she was sleeping well. Blood work showed improved liver enzymes. Her recovery illustrates how powerful dietary shifts can be, even in advanced age. It's also important to note that fatty liver can occur in individuals of normal weight. Thin seniors often feel immune to sugar-related issues, yet I've treated many who developed liver dysfunction despite being slim and active. The issue isn't body size, it's the way the liver handles repeated fructose exposure. The most damaging myth is that sugar is harmless unless it causes obesity. In truth, it disrupts liver function, hormone balance, and inflammatory pathways, even in lean bodies. And in older adults where liver repair slows, the effects are compounded. Symptoms may be vague, but the harm is real. Preventing liver strain begins with awareness. Read food labels, avoid sweetened beverages, and replace processed snacks with whole foods. Every small change gives the liver a break from metabolic overload and helps restore its natural rhythm. When the liver functions well, digestion improves sleep, deepens mood, lifts, and energy returns. Seniors deserve that vitality, and it starts with understanding how food quietly affects liver health every day. The most encouraging truth I've learned as a liver specialist is that the liver can heal even in older adults. It regenerates, repairs, and rebounds quickly when given the right support. For seniors, this means that reversing early signs of liver strain does not require extreme diets or expensive treatments. It requires awareness, consistency, and simple, sustainable changes. Start by removing sugary drinks. Fruit juice, sweetened tea, and energy drinks flood the liver with sugar. Replace them with water, herbal tea, or fruit-infused water. Next, choose whole foods over processed ones. Instead of cereals or granola bars, opt for eggs, avocado steel-cut oats, or Greek yogurt with fresh berries. These foods nourish the liver without excess sugar. Read ingredient labels. Added sugars appear under many names: high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose cane sugar, and more. If sugar is one of the first 5 ingredients, leave it on the shelf. Replace sauces and condiments with natural herbs. Olive oil and lemon. Cook at home when possible to control ingredients. Meals like soups, roasted vegetables, and simple salads can be both healing and satisfying. Fiber is key. It helps the liver eliminate toxins and supports a healthy gut microbiome, which is vital for immunity and inflammation control. Seniors often fall short on fiber. Boost it with beans, flax seeds, greens, and whole grains. Smoothies can be adapted for easier digestion with unsweetened almond milk, spinach, avocado, and a few berries. Sleep is critical for liver detoxification. The liver repairs itself during rest. Avoid caffeine after or caffeine after midday, and finish meals 2 to 3 hours before bed. Sleep stabilized and energy returned. Liver care does not mean perfection. It means showing up daily with small, mindful actions that give your body the support it needs. For seniors, protecting liver health is the foundation of energy, memory, immunity, and independence, and the journey begins with each thoughtful bite.